Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to explore the Trojan War. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Somewhere across the plains of Anatolia, a great city was destroyed. They said it was because of a woman, said to be the most beautiful on earth. The siege lasted 10 long years, but the question that has puzzled historians and scholars for centuries remains: did the Trojan War really happen, or is it just an immortal legend? In this video, we'll travel back thousands of years, searching through the ruins of Troy to uncover the truth. Who wrote the story? Who fought in it? And why? And most importantly, did Troy ever exist at all? The Legend of Homer. The most famous account of the Trojan War comes from a Greek poet named Homer, who wrote an epic known as the Iliad in the 8th century BC. But the story he told took place at least 5 centuries earlier. According to the legend, Paris, the prince of Troy, visited Sparta, where he fell in love with Helen, the wife of King Menelaus. He took her back to Troy, and that act ignited one of the greatest wars in human literature. Menelaus' brother, King Agamemnon, gathered the kings and warriors of Greece and launched over 1,000 ships toward Troy. They besieged the city for 10 years. Famous heroes like Achilles, Hector, Odysseus, and Ajax clashed in epic battles. In the end, the Greeks tricked the Trojans with a massive wooden horse. Hidden inside were Greek soldiers, who crept out at night, opened the city gates, and Troy was utterly destroyed. Did Troy really exist? For more than 2,000 years, most people believed Troy was pure myth. That is, until a man named Heinrich Schliemann came along in the 19th century, an adventurer who believed the Iliad wasn't just a poem, but a map. He traveled to northwestern Turkey, to a mount called Hisarlik, and began digging. What he found was astonishing: multiple layers of ancient cities built on top of each other, one of which dated to around 1200 BC, the exact time period described by Homer. The city was massive, surrounded by huge stone walls. There were traces of fire, weapons, and destruction. That layer became known as Troy 7a. All this revived an ancient question: was Homer's story actually based on real events? Evidence beyond the myth. Outside of literature, other evidence supports Troy's existence. In the archive of the Hittite Empire, a major power of the same era, scholars found diplomatic records mentioning a kingdom called Wilosa, which many believe is the same as Troy. There is even mention of a ruler named Alexander, believed by some to be the historical Paris. These documents describe conflicts, alliances, and tensions with Aegean kingdoms, suggesting that Troy was not just a city, but a strategic hub controlling vital trade routes, especially the Dardanelles Strait. Was the war like in the Iliad? But was the war really as Homer described it? Evidence suggests the true story was much simpler and far less romantic. There is no archaeological proof of a giant wooden horse. Many scholars believe it was a metaphor, perhaps a siege machine or a clever military ruse that later evolved into legend. Nor is there any evidence for figures like Achilles or Odysseus. They may have been local heroes whose tales grew through centuries or oral storytelling. Still, the charred ruins, shattered walls, and broken weapons found in Troy 7a all point to one thing: a real war did take place. Why was the war fought? Beyond the stories of Helen, love, and revenge, many historians see a far more practical cause: control of trade routes between Asia and Europe, the wealth of strategic location of Troy, political competitions and shifting alliances. In short, it may not have been a war of heroes, but of economics, power, and dominance. Conclusion: the Trojan War most likely happened, but not exactly as Homer told it. Troy was real, the destruction was real, and the events that inspired the Iliad had really roots in history. But Homer, with his poetic genius, transformed that history into an immortal epic, a story of love, heroism, betrayal, and gods. Perhaps no one ever hid inside a wooden horse, but humanity entered the myth, and we're still living it to this day. So, what do you think? Was the Trojan War a real historical event? Did Achilles truly exist, or is he just a legend? Share your thoughts in the comments below.